We've got a question about Parasound amps. What would be the ideal amp for my home theater setup? I plan on running two JTR 212 noise towers
Mhm.
and 210 RM center. Running JC1 Plus is out of my price range.
Okay. Well, so that's a great question. I think the first decision to make really is how many of the channels do you want to run by Parasound? Let me just kind of take a step back for a quick second and say that I think one of the really great uses of Parasound is that the manufacturers, the big manufacturers from Asia, like Yamaha, Marantz, Integra, any of those guys, they all have a tremendous capability that we as a smaller company don't have. They've all got a lot of digital engineering. So when we listen to home theater, what we're really listening to are some incredibly sophisticated algorithms that are directing, let's say the car going from the left to the right, or the horses are kind of going past you and you're literally hearing the horses go from front to back. The algorithms you have to write to get that kind of digital steering are not for the faint of heart, okay? And HDMI engineering in particular is its own whole other thing. So those companies that are much, much bigger than Parasound and have a really deep shelf of digital engineering that can create those kinds of products so that the steering is absolutely pristine. We love the fact that those guys are in business, because if you then choose to take one of their products and made it to, let's say, a Parasound 2-channel amp for just the front 2 channels, or a 3-channel amp like our A31, or a 5-channel amp, or it sounds like, Chana, in your case, you're using actually 2 of our 5-channel amps, so you've got multiple channels going. We think that's fabulous, because what most of those home theater receivers can't do is there's no way that you can take that physical box size and cram into it all the things that we put into a high-end amplifier. So if you have a moment, Chana, to, like, I think on our website, either the JC5 or I know for sure the JC1 Plus, we have an interior view where you can look, kind of the helicopter view down into the amplifier.
Yeah, that big massive turtle.
Yeah.
Thing
Okay,
is a
perfect.
beast. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you so much, Shauna, for doing that. When you look inside this thing, you start to realize that there's no way that a home theater receiver can have all the incredible, sophisticated electronics that it has in it and have all the room to just cram the things you need to cram in there.
HDMI switcher, the decoders, all that stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So, we take a look here and you see, for example, that's about a 30-pound transformer, but literally the thing that's creating the main power for it. And what you can't quite see from this angle is we have 2 other transformers in there. We've got a transformer that's really just dedicated to the input stage of the amplifier. And people don't seem to talk about the input stage of the amplifier much. I never did until we started shipping this JC1 Plus. And then we've got a 3rd transformer as well, just to do the bypass, the protection functions and so forth. So there you go. From this angle, you can see right in the front of the product. So, there's the big blue transformer, and there's the one for the input stage. There you go. And then just on the other side of it, that little yellow guy, there you go. So 3 transformers in one box. And this is where I think it's just such a beautiful thing to take one of the home theater receivers from those well-esteemed brands, Sony and all those guys, and have that do all the digital steering in your system, but now bring a Parasound amplifier or 2 or however many you need to get done what you need to get done. I think, for example, the A31, where you've got left, center, and right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real typical application, because
250 watts.
Yeah, it's a brute.
Yeah, that is a beast right there.
So I'm laughing at Kanga Empire says, "Damn boy, she thick." That's how we talk about amplifiers on this on Daily HiFi.
There you go. Damn boy, she thick.
Notice what else is on the back of that. 2 handles.
Right.
Yeah. But you know what? I had I have the 51, so that's the
5-channel.
The 5-channel version of this. It also has handles, but I'm telling you right now, it doesn't help. It really doesn't help, because it's all front loaded and heavy. I mean, here's the 5-channel version.
Right.
Like, it's just, there's like, I mean, I tried. It took a while to get it up on my table when I was shooting the video. And honestly, I do not want to take my rack apart, because I'll have to pretty much get back behind my TVs where my rack is. So it's a very tight spot. So getting it in there was a chore. It's not leaving. It's just staying there and things not going anywhere.
Here I was thinking that John curl was so that you could like just literally
no, it's literally curl it.
You know, it's funny because my buddy over there, Just Audio Lenny, he just did a video recently where he, you know, I think he used a Parasound amp to see if he could hear a difference between using, you know, just the built-in, I think it was a Yamaha amplifier for home theater, and then he added a Parasound amp, and he's like, I could totally tell a difference. So,
yeah, and that's where I was saying a moment ago about how it's a tremendous best of both worlds kind of a scenario when you take their home theater receiver, and you can still, of course, use some of those channels to power the other speakers.
I think that's what Chana does with his setup, right?
I did before I had the 2 amps. So now all 10 channels of my 10.1 Oro or my 9-channel Atmos is all externally powered. But before I just had the A52 Plus. My 5 ear level speakers were powered by the Parasound, and then the 4 height channels or 5 height channels, depending on what I was watching, was powered by the Denon. And I see questions in here a lot. Like people are like, well, what does Parasound have that's a 3-channel amplifier? It's the A31. It's 250 watts per channel into 8 ohms, and it's really big. It's also fairly expensive. If you wanted to go down to the A52 Plus, which is a 5-channel amplifier, it's less expensive, and you can still just run only 3 channels on there, and it'll be like more wattage than you were running the 2 channels.
Hey, Joe, just let Richard and Phil know that I think I can make a little bit of room here. If you want to send an app, just I'll clear out some stuff just for you guys. Don't worry, I got you.
It sounded like a plug for free goods.